he opens the 50-50 club. 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases. When I was a kid, I remember the hubbub on Jose Canseco going 40-40. Oh my gosh, I can't believe anybody went 40-40. Well, it took a couple of decades, but somebody finally went 50-50. And then Shohei Ohtani hit number 51. Now, he did it off a second baseman, okay? And they scored 20 runs in that game. And the fact that he hit it off a second baseman is a bit of a joke. But hey, good for you, Vidal Brujan. You are now in the record books as giving up Shohei's 51st. There is no negativity here from me. Like there is no way to like draw an analogy or try to say whose season was better. I know some people want to do who's better, Aaron Judge or Shohei this year. It doesn't matter. Let's just celebrate the greatness because what Shohei did last night, he went 6 for 6. He drove in 10. Now, the all-time record is 12 in a game. The all-time record for hits in a game is 7. He didn't get to either, but just on a pedestal, you'll never see a box score like that again. 6-6, 10. I mean, come on. It was, you're going to remember where you were. It was one of those nights you'll remember where you were, and Shohei Ohtani did what he did. Now, the one thing that stood out to me is I thought in this day and age of pickoff rules now, because you can only throw over twice, and after the second pickoff attempt, the runner knows you can't throw. He's got a free pass to go. Now, he's still got to get there, but they can't hold him on. How many of those stolen bases came after 2 pickoff attempts? Because it is much easier now, bigger bases as well, to steal a base. And the answer is for Shohei, who we see right here, and he stole 3rd last night. I don't know how he beat that one. Was only 3. Only 3 of his 50 stolen bases came after 2 pickoff attempts, and he knew he was free to run. 4 times did he try. 3 times did he actually make it. So I can't nitpick this one, Sam. It is a moment of historic greatness, and it should be celebrated any and everywhere where baseball is played.
Let's please allow it to be that, Andrew, because it was truly spectacular. And again, like you said, there's nearly nothing. There's not an argument here to be had per se. But let's just say this and remind everybody, because it does flash on the screen. Now, there were a few things to put the game in context. Like you said, maybe not the greatest game individually of all time, because there were others, and you talked about the 12 RBI and the 7 hits, etc. But considering the game clinches a playoff berth for the Dodgers, considering it's his first season as a Dodger, not in LA, but as a Dodger, and considering it is on a season which is now stamping his MVP ticket, there's a lot that goes along with that. And of course, chasing 50-50 on top of it. So for it to be a historic night in regards to that, it was legendarily, as you said, we will remember. We have a friend who has a birthday on September 19th. Chris Morales, happy birthday. Yes, forever September 19th will now on my calendar be changed from Chris Morales' birthday to Shohei Ohtani Day. That's just it. For me, that's what it will be. And when you consider what this season was going to be, Andrew, coming into the season though, Andrew, with what happened with Ipe, the interpreter, there was so much, considering what his contract was with the Dodgers and what you could clearly say, oh, will he live up to the money in a season where we know he's not going to pitch? There was a lot, right? Okay, you're a DH. What can you do to affect this team? Which, by the way, this is not a team that you're taking from nothing to something, right? This is a team that essentially we're all writing into the NLDS minimum without Shohei. NLDS for sure for the Dodgers. That's what most people do. And now he's joining. So this wasn't going to be an adorable story for Shohei. This had to be something extra special considering he wasn't going to pitch. Now, consider a couple things about the game, Andrew. Number one, he was thrown out at 3rd on a ball, look, hits a left field that you probably wouldn't stretch into a triple most times, but he was that close. I mean, if that throws a little offline, he also hits for the cycle in this game. And by the way, in his first at bat, Andrew, he hit the ball off the wall.
Yeah, he did.
It could have been a 4 home run day.
Yeah.
Yes. And
they scored 20 runs. It was
the
like
worst team in the National League.
They were beating up, if not for the White Sox and their historically poor season, like worst in 100 years.
Sure.
The Marlins are the worst team in baseball. They scored 20 runs. He had this final home run off a second baseman.
Yes. Although, by the way, didn't miss the ball. Didn't miss that
one. But if you look at it again, I mean, it looked like
it looks like me pitching
from the
to
home
Levi.
run derby.
Yes.
It looked. I'm not saying he intentionally tried to give up the home run, but that ball was 50. I don't know what
Sure.
the gun was. I bet you it was 55 miles an hour.
And
It
it's 1-0
was
count. Yeah.
it was the old man at the home run derby who's just going like I mean, it's almost like he threw it from the front of the mound.
But
Like, go ahead, hit a homer.
But by the way, he also hit the ball that would have been the longest ball in the home run derby.
Yeah,
so he did get all of it. He didn't.
It
he
landed
didn't
at the Dolphins Stadium.
It was special. I just want to stamp it with this, Andrew. First playoff berth for Shohei Ohtani. So that did flash on the screen at one point during the broadcast. Thank you to the Dodgers for signing Shohei Ohtani to this legendary contract. And here's why. Now, you know my family, even though there's Philadelphia in our roots, the one team that my dad borrowed when he came here over 40 years ago was the Angels. So somehow I root for all of these Philadelphia teams and then this special place in my heart for the Angels. It's random, but it happened. My dad wanted to go to baseball games, didn't want to have the conflict of Dodgers, Phillies, National League, became an Angels fan. There you have it. But thank you, Dodgers, for giving this astronomical contract to Shohei Ohtani so that we can see him, Andrew, in this way. And a tip of the cap to Travis Rogers, who pointed this out. Mike Trout, the best player in baseball.
Travis Rogers, an LA Sports Talk show host.
LA Sports Talk show host who we know for years, who
Rams
produced,
pre and post.
Yeah, exactly. Pre and post, produced Jim Rome for many, many years, and a dear friend to both of us. He made a great point about Mike Trout's career. 10 seasons of being arguably, and many of those seasons not arguably, the best player in baseball. We saw Mike Trout for 3 losses to the Royals in the playoffs.
Sure.
That's all we've seen in 2014 from Mike Trout in the postseason. Seeing the best players on the biggest stage and the biggest moments, that's what we want to see. And with Mike Trout, we've been robbed of that. And in Anaheim, Los Angeles of Anaheim for the Angels, Shohei Ohtani over the course of 6 seasons, 1 of those was Rookie of the Year, and 2 of those was MVP. And how many times was he in the postseason with Mike Trout as his teammate? 0 games, 0 at-bats for Shohei Ohtani in the postseason. So much so that as an Angels fan, the most exciting moment that mattered more than anything else for an Angels fan involving Shohei Ohtani's career, where was it, Andrew? The World Baseball Classic, when he strikes out Mike Trout.
So
that's it.
I would just say this in closing. Much like the overwhelming majority of his salary, the Dodgers and their fans hope that he is going to defer some of these home runs until October because the Dodgers, much like the Cowboys, these 6 months are nice. Show me something in October. Okay. In something other than a COVID year in the World Series in Dallas. Show me something in October. And that's what Dodgers fans are, fingers crossed, hoping that they get.
And quickly, Andrew, quickly on that, there's the debate percolating about October. And we said it, he's going to be the MVP in a season where he did not pitch at all.
Yeah, don't pitch him. It's malpractice.
We're both just nodding our heads. Leave it alone.
Yeah, leave it alone. It is malpractice if you pitch him.